Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino, and we really do have to talk. I want you to sit down, relax, and take in what I'm going to tell you here. So this is my newest segment of Markets to Look Ahead, and there is a huge amount of things that are going on right now that are going to affect, obviously, the stock markets, cryptocurrencies, gold, silver, the dollar, the 10-year yield. All right, so let's cover that. If you've been following this blog over the past few weeks, I have said several times that August, we're in August right now, we're right at the beginning of August. This, to me, is going to prove to be a very volatile month. Expect wild swings in this market. Expect wild swings with regard to the price of cryptocurrencies, gold, silver, the dollar, which is getting decimated. I want to talk about that in a second too. So there's a lot of things here that are converging at the same time. And when you see these things, historically in the market, wild swings occur. And I've been saying this for weeks, that's how it's going to play out. And to me, looking at the geopolitical spectrum here, I want to talk more about that. What's going on with the 10-year yield, the dollar, cryptocurrencies, gold, silver. Lately, it's all telling a story. All of this is telling a story about how this month is going to play out more than likely. So let's talk about a few other things here so we can, again, put this all together. I almost don't know where to start. I'll be honest with you. It's a lot of stuff here. Let's talk about the dollar, okay? The dollar has been getting cremated as of late. No secret. Everybody's talking about it. The mainstream channels, massive pressure on the dollar. And this is all, honestly, being done by design. It's a mechanism here to issue in a new system, a new dollar, okay? You all know that if you've been following this blog here. Reflective of that mechanism, cryptocurrencies have been skyrocketing, gold and silver as well. Now, with regard to cryptocurrencies real quick, we had a pretty incredible run-up as of late. Now we're getting a pullback, okay? Now, I would expect the same thing to happen to gold and silver. Again, nothing goes straight up. How this works, how markets work, again, it's a random walk with an upward drift. When you get any kind of an asset, okay, that makes a parabolic move, you must get a pullback to a support level. Once you hit that support level, it tends to go higher from here. And that's the only direction where gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies are going to go in this environment of a death spiraling US dollar, again by design. Now, with that said, no asset goes down straight without a bounce. So I would expect to see a bounce here with regard to the dollar as well. A bounce in the dollar will obviously put pressure on cryptocurrencies, on gold, on silver, but this, again, is going to decouple, again, because this move, which I seriously believe is going to happen, it just has to happen. If you just look at dynamics in the market, if you understand how it works, you get a run up, pull back to a support level, and it goes up, or in the opposite, down, bounce to a resistance level, and then back down. That would be the dollar. You understand? So gold, silver, and cryptos up, down to a support level, and then a move higher. With regard to the dollar, down, bounce to a resistance level, then back down. All right, that's how I think it's going to play out here in short order. Okay, now let's look at the stock market here. And what's playing on here? What has got Greg rattled? Okay, a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Something has Greg rattled here, and that is clearly the 10-year yield, 0.53. People, look, this is clearly a sign, if you understand how markets work, that cash is making its way into the debt market. When you see the 10-year yield drop or the entire yield curve drop, okay, that means cash is going into the debt market. So it's got to come from somewhere. It's going to come out of cryptos, gold, silver. I'm talking about paper derivatives here of gold and silver. No one's selling their physical gold and silver and putting cash in the debt market unless they are like injecting something pretty hairy. You understand? It's not going to happen. So what's going to happen here, you're going to see cash more than likely come out of the stock market and end up in the debt market. And again, so what's that mean? Clearly, with the 10-year yield where it is, do not be surprised and don't get overly rattled if you see stocks fall. I really feel that can potentially play out. Unless, of course, and you know what to look for. That's the beauty, I think, of this blog. And right on my website here, traderschoice.net, I have it's beautiful, really is, market dynamics chart, which shows you how the market responds when the dollar and the 10-year yield are doing one thing, how it would go down, and how it would do the opposite if you observe just the dollar and the 10-year yield. Go have a look at that. Take a snapshot of it and save it to your computer so you can understand these very simple but powerful market dynamics. Again, right here on my website, traderschoice.net. Go check it out. It's all free. It's all for you. Now let's talk more. What else has the potential to weigh on this market? Obviously, it's this coronavirus thing here, and the fear factor is pretty much off the Richter scale. Now, a couple of things happened here. One is Congress and the White House can't get anything done. This is nothing new. Doesn't matter who sits behind the resolute desk, they just can't get anything done. Again, unless, of course, it's for the corporations, especially the pharmaceutical corporations as of late. I want to talk more about that. But again, they can't come together on a way to help the American people. Why? This is a culling. They already culled 50% of the small businesses here in America. The middle class is under direct attack and will continue to be pressured and squashed. They're going to come up with something, believe me, at one point, okay? And it's going to be a joke. Meanwhile, as Steve Mnuchin himself said, there is unlimited funds for Wall Street and the corporations. Now, let me put a perspective on that for you, because I find this disturbing and I want to hear from you. So we just found out about a week and a half ago, Sanofi, which is a French pharmaceutical corporation, is receiving billions of dollars from the United States to develop millions of vaccines. Now, we just heard from President Trump over the weekend, who is touting another historic deal with Kodak, an American company, to make millions of doses of antiviral, whatever the hell they're doing here, for coronavirus. And a historic deal, billions. So we send billions to a French pharmaceutical corporation to make millions of doses of vaccine, and then to offset that, again, because you see how it's being played is very simple, and this is what bothers me. So the president is touting this as a historic deal with Kodak, which used to make camera equipment. Now they're apparently making pharmaceuticals. Where it's an American company. How about this, President Trump? And I'm not beating you up. I just wish you would tell the truth. Why don't you enlighten the American people how you just sent billions over to a French company? They can't know that. I'm sorry. I forgot that they're not allowed to know that that's going on. They can only know this historic deal. Well, let me say this, President Trump. If this historic deal, because that's what you said, turns out to be anything like the Chinese historic deal, which was the biggest failure, I think, in the history of historic deals, I don't know what is. But look, again, I'm not beating up on the president. He's a puppet. We all know that. The military-industrial complex, the New World Order, pulling the strings. They do whatever they want. The president just parrots. Every day, the president gets a brief. He gets a briefing. This is common knowledge. Every president gets a briefing. Now, at that point, the president is handed a script Okay, sir, this is what you will tell the people right now to keep them in line, to keep them brainwashed, to keep them distracted. The misinformation is not just President Trump, all of them, okay? Because again, they're just a spokesperson for the military-industrial complex New World Order. You all know that. But with that aside, that the geopolitical spectrum we are in right now, or whatever, the geopolitical situation that we are in right now is grave. But again, it's all a design here to destroy, and I mean decimate, beyond the point of recognition, total foobar, okay, the middle class or whatever is left of it. Meanwhile, the corporations, Wall Street, get anything they want in unlimited amounts. I mean, let's just put perspective on that. Perspective. I'm losing my mind over here. 50% of small businesses here in the United States are now gone forever. They're never coming back. Meanwhile, corporate America is as strong as it's ever been, if not stronger. So that should let you understand the mechanism here and where our politicians from the president on down really have their minds at. Again, they're all being fed a script from the president on down. This is what they will follow. This is what you will do. This is the theater. The freak show Democrats, the freak show Republicans, and the freak at the top, it's just theater. All theater to keep you distracted, to keep you looking over there, or whatever it might be. Meanwhile, we're sending billions of dollars overseas to one pharmaceutical corporation to make antivirals or vaccines, and then we're doing the same thing here to Kodak, who used to make pictures, but now they're making pharmaceuticals, and it's a historic deal. You can't make it up. Try to make something up like that worse. I bet you can't even make it up if you try to. You can't do it. It's impossible. No one can. So understanding where we are at right now, looking at the 10-year yield, looking at the dollar, looking at cryptos, looking at gold and silver, understanding what I had said, how they're going to work, looking at the 10-year yield, you can just see, I think, relatively clearly that this month is going to be volatile. I want you just to understand that. If you recall, in June, I told all of you, watch for July. Stocks are going to go up. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, an entire month out, I explained how the market would work, and it did exactly what I said it would do. That's why I would be willing to bet, seriously, that this month is going to play out again exactly like I am saying here. So let's see how this works out. Now look, what is this all about for you? What does this mean for you in the grand scheme of things? Why am I out here spewing whatever's coming out of my mouth? Because I want you on the right side of this. I want you on the right side of this. Period. The end. Okay? So you can make the best decisions for yourself and for your family and for your neighborhood, the people you care about. Because look, the middle class here in America, you're done. You're absolutely done. There is no hope for you because we are very quickly moving to a two-tier society. Extreme haves, extreme have-nots. This can be reflected and seen right now in the culling of small businesses across America. 50% of them are gone now, with corporate America gaining incredible amounts of strength. You understand? Rich getting extremely rich. The poor and destitute, well, they're there already. But the middle class, whatever's left of it, is being squashed and pushed down to that lower rung by design. And the final hammer blow is going to be the new dollar. Understand what's happening around you. Look at the dollar. It's being deliberately pressured. This is no accident. The Federal Reserve is deliberately on course to destroy the dollar in its current form. Wipe it out. They're going to wipe out the dollar to bring in their new system. And their new system has already been ready to roll out. You have to understand, way before, years ago. Okay, they've just been looking for a mechanism here, and they got it here with the coronavirus, this scamdemic. Okay, they staged this. They kill the money velocity so they can get in here, use the end stage of the dollar to buy it all. You understand? Then once that's done, they issue in their new dollar. Okay, 100% fiat. Believe me on this. I know some of you are holding on to hope that is going to be commodity based. It cannot be and will not be commodity based because that would give power to the people. You understand? Central banks' power resides in one thing: their ability to issue debt in unprecedented amounts. Okay, and that's really what this is all about. Total and absolute control. So, being that we understand that, and that's the mechanism here on a global stage. World control by the military-industrial complex, New World Order, a plan that's been in effect here for over 100 years, since the inception and creation of the Federal Reserve. Their only goal has been to be the lender and buyer of last resort, and they are there now. Members of Congress talking about more stimulus. You know, Congress can't get anything done, but they will. More stimulus, more debt. The president, negative rates, weaker dollar. You can't make it up, but that's where we're at. And this is all run by the Fed. The Fed runs the monetary system of the world. Why? Because the U.S. dollar remains the world reserve currency, and it will stay there unless we get a major war, and millions upon millions upon millions of people will be culled as well. And even after that, the dollar will remain the world reserve currency, because the power right now of the Federal Reserve is unprecedented. Every day, the Fed is allowed to issue a single dollar of more debt, either adding it to a digital screen or printing it out of thin air. They become stronger every single day. The Federal Reserve today is so powerful, is so strong. As if you just want to look back just to last year, because of the epic amount of debt that the Federal Reserve has created, they've become exponentially stronger. That's how central banking works. I know a lot of people don't get it. A lot of YouTube channels pushing some other kind of narrative. They don't understand central banking. They're not market people. I am a market guy. This is all I do. Okay? And my market forecasts have been unbelievably accurate. Ask anyone that follows my work. Ask any one of the over 31,000 lions that follow me on my free newsletter. There's a link down here. Ask any one of them. Has Greg been right to the point of where it's scary? I would be willing to bet that everyone would say absolutely that's true. So I don't pull this stuff out of a hat, people. I do not pull this stuff out of a hat. Anyway, all right, look, long video, very important video. I'm going to ask you to please share it. Get it out there as far and wide as you can, and think about what I have discussed here. What does it mean for you? How are you going to use this information for yourself? Again, if you realize where gold and silver and cryptos are going to play out, and the dollar, by design, could not be simpler for you. Bet against the debt. Become your own central bank. If you are one of my lions, my traders out here, well, then you know how to take advantage of it as well. And not only do you know, I will keep you light years ahead of this if you just follow my work. And I put every single position out for the entire public to see for free. What I bought, when I bought it, how I'm playing them, if I'm hedging them, if I'm adding to the positions, everything. It's all for you to see, anybody, okay? All you got to do is subscribe to my free newsletter. It's 100% free. Anyway, look, I love you. I mean that. And I'll see you in the morning. This month is going to be lovely. I'll see you later.